Between 1988 and 1993, Sergei Ryakovsky would unleash a murder spree across Moscow, which would haunt the city for decades. Ryakovsky was nicknamed the Hippopotamus due to his large, hulking stature and thick neck. He would use his size to his advantage and completely overpower his victims, leaving them utterly helpless. His targets were homosexuals and prostitutes, and he believed he was doing the world a favor by cleansing the streets of these poor souls. His modus operandi was stabbing and strangulation mostly, although he did hang and decapitate some of his victims. In April of 1993, this horrifying Hippo would be arrested for his heinous crimes and sentenced to death. However, a moratorium on capital punishment in Russia would later commute his sentence to life in prison. Sergei Ryakovsky would later succumb to tuberculosis in January of 2005. In the heart of Ukraine, during the late 20th century, a dark shadow fell upon its quiet villages. For the better half of a decade, the beast of Ukraine would come to haunt the nation. Born into a turbulent life, Anatoly knew adversity from a young age, growing up in orphanages and foster homes. But what unfolded in his adulthood was a nightmare beyond imagination. Between 1989 and 1996, Onoprienko embarked on a gruesome rampage. He targeted families in rural areas, breaking into their homes under the cover of night. The violence that followed was horrifying, as he methodically murdered multiple family members, leaving chaos in his wake. His preferred weapons were firearms and axes, and he showed no mercy. His crimes baffled investigators and terrified communities. In 1996, the relentless pursuit of justice led to Onoprienko's capture. His arrest revealed the extent of his brutality, leaving a nation in shock. In 1999, he faced justice and was found guilty of 52 murders. While initially sentenced to death, his punishment was later commuted to life in prison when Ukraine abolished the death penalty. Alexander Pichushkin, infamously known as the Chessboard Killer, was a Russian serial killer who terrorized Moscow from 2002 to 2006. Pichushkin's gruesome crimes shocked the world and left a lasting mark on criminal psychology. Pichushkin's modus operandi was both chilling and methodical. He targeted primarily homeless men, luring them with promises of alcohol and friendship. Once he gained their trust, he brutally murdered them, often using a hammer or other blunt objects. What set him apart was his obsession with keeping a macabre scorecard, aiming to kill as many people as there are squares on a chessboard, which is 64. His nickname, the Chessboard Killer, stemmed from this gruesome game. He would place a coin on a chessboard for each victim, moving one square closer to his goal with every murder. In the frigid cold of Siberia, a man of the law preyed on unsuspecting women, leaving an unimaginable trail of blood through the Irkutsk region. Mikhail Popkov would prowl the streets of a town called Angarsk, looking for lonely and vulnerable women, mostly prostitutes. He would later claim that he was cleansing the streets of what he considered to be immoral behavior. Between 1992 and 2010, he embarked on a reign of terror. His method was chillingly calculated. Using his past experience as a police officer, as well as his uniform, he would pick up these women in his cruiser, luring them with the illusion of safety. But once they were in his grasp, the nightmare began. He brutally murdered them, often using blunt objects or knives, and left behind scenes of unspeakable violence, earning him the nickname, the Werewolf. The toll was staggering, with at least 78 confirmed victims, although Popkov confessed to more. His arrest in 2012 sent shockwaves through the city, and in 2015, he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison, which would finally bring a sense of peace to the residents of Angarsk. Mikhail Popkov's case serves as a haunting reminder of the darkness that can reside within individuals, even those entrusted with protecting society, leaving behind a legacy of pain and unanswered questions. In the shadowy years of the Soviet Union, a sinister figure emerged, haunting the people of Russia. His name was Andrei Chikatilo, but he became infamous as the Butcher of Rostov. Andrei's story was one of unspeakable horrors. He preyed on the vulnerable, mostly children and young adults, during a reign of terror that spanned from 1978 to 1990. He would lure his victims to remote locations, promising them something innocent, only to unleash his inner demons. His crimes were beyond comprehension: sexual assault, mutilation, and even cannibalism. The nation was gripped by fear, and a massive manhunt ensued. Finally, in 1990, the authorities captured him, and he was found guilty of murdering 53 people, although the true number may have been higher. In 1994, Andrei Chikatilo faced the ultimate punishment. He was executed. His story remains a dark chapter in the annals of serial killers, a haunting reminder of the depths of human depravity.